And one. Hi there, folks. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Fight Club.
Welcome to Fight Club.
Hey.
Welcome back. Welcome to Fight Club for Business, the show for home service business owners looking to improve their marketing, finances, systems, and culture. We're a team of self-employed industry experts, and we get to be joined this week by our guest, Kate Cinnamo. Thank you so much for joining us, Kate. We're so happy to have you.
Good morning.
Do you mind?
Thanks for having us.
You want a brief rundown of yourself and your business?
Sure. My name's Kate Cinnamo. I'm the executive director of a nonprofit called Explore the Trades, and our focus is bridging the technical talent gap to the service trades of plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical.
Oh, this is going to be so awesome. We can't wait to talk about this. This is definitely a need we've all talked about that trade industry definitely needs right now. So thank you for joining us. For those listening that are new to the show, my name is Taylor Maroney, and I co-own a power washing company in South Florida with my husband. And my background is in marketing. So that's really where I found my passion for helping business owners understand the numbers behind their marketing so they can make better decisions based upon that. So super excited to have you with us, Kate, and welcome back to Fight Club, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning, Kate. My name's Megan Likes. I'm sorry I'm late, or just saved by the bell, just during the intro. I am the founder of Bookkeeping Academy Online, and my passion is educating and empowering small business owners to know their numbers so that they can live more financially rewarding lives. I also own a full-service accounting firm, Likes Accounting Company, and I own a window cleaning, gutter cleaning company with my husband, Jeff. And I've been saying for many years that we have to make the trade sexy again. So I feel like we're going to get along.
I love it. And Kate, my name's Michelle. I'm the co-owner of Pink Collars, and we do remote admin services. So if you need an office manager or CSR or anybody that can help with all of that customer care and phone calls and texts and emails, we can absolutely help you out. And then I'm also co-owner of a floor coatings business called Wise Coatings of Loudoun County with my husband, who used to be in the seat next to me, but now he's out in the field in a truck doing the thing. And I absolutely love watching that thing come to fruition. So welcome to Fight Club.
And my name's Martha Woodward. I owned a maid service in a neighboring state for 13 plus years. And I say 13 plus because I can't remember if it's 13 or 14, but anyway. And then I'm co-founder of Quality Driven Software, which is all about employee performance and helping create happier workplaces. So, Kate, I think we skipped you. You need to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I did.
Oh, you did.
I did.
I was busy sharing.
That podcast there. You're busy sharing everything. So it's okay. No worries. I actually get to take Kate first. And I'm kind of going to use my segment today as a little bit of marketing, but also to dive a little bit deeper into what you do, Kate, and really how you are impacting the service industry with bringing trades to generations that may not know that this is an option for them for a career. And I think that alone in itself is marketing. So we really are talking about the marketing segment itself, but we're going to talk more about it in the careers aspect than actually marketing your services itself this week. So I really want to start with, I know we've all personally talked about this, our husbands, or we have friends, ourselves, we all have businesses, and we've talked about how do we bring this to a generation where they've been told, go to school, get your degree. And then from there, you'll be able to find a job where you sit at a desk. We all know the story. But for us, we've seen that, trades are really suffering. They need just as much attention and just as much marketing to that generation and upcoming generation to know that this is an option as well. Because, when my father was younger, they had trades in high school. They were able to go to shop classes, and he ended up teaching a shop class. And that's where he found his passion for AutoCAD and learning how to be able to then help younger generations now by teaching middle schoolers how to use products and softwares that can help them design, fun skateboards and things of that sort. So I've seen it with my father, but unfortunately with my brother and my sister and I, we didn't get to see that as much. So how did you start to bridge that gap of bringing trades back into the forefront as an option for a career?
Yeah, that's a good question. So with my background, so a little bit of story about how I got to this position. I had worked in the senior housing and healthcare industry for over 10 years. So when I came to this organization, it was a complete 180. And just like you mentioned, I'm part of that generation where you go to college, you go to college, you go to college. How dare you go to technical school because, oh, sorry, either you're not smart enough or, it's that stigma attached to it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And yeah, right. And I think that, Taylor, you hit the nail on the head. And I think for those of us who graduated, late 90s, early 2000s, the realization is now, and I will give all credit to being in this role, but we lost an entire generation of a skilled workforce, because no one wanted to do that. And now we're talking about skilled labor shortage and everyone can feel it, whether you're a homeowner, wherever you need services. And it comes down to, it's our job in the industry to make it available. And when they took out all of the tech ed and vocational ed in high school, I had wood shop, we had auto shop. And then all of a sudden, because of that narrative change, they took it out. And now we're feeling the crunch. And that's where we've really been intentional in providing resources that teachers can use to have those conversations. And we know that so many teachers and school counselors aren't aware of the opportunity. They don't know how to start an apprenticeship. They're just not aware of that. So it's our job to sort of educate the educators so that they can have those conversations. And now you're starting those discussions of, oh, what does a plumber do? What does an electrician do? And it's not, I just turn the light switch on and it happens, right? It's, think about all those professionals who are so well trained to make our lives comfortable and to keep us safe. And, that's a whole different perspective that we've been missing.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't agree more. And I feel very blessed. I know I am the youngest one on this show. And I come from a background where I had a father, as I mentioned, that taught shop, that ended up taking that into a career of teaching AutoCAD to college students. And then my father-in-law has been an electrician his whole life. So my husband has been able to really be involved in the trades that way. And that's where he found his passion for power washing. And it's very true. The conversations do need to start at a young age, because I truly believe if my husband didn't have his father in the electrical trades to know what that really brought financially to their family, he might not have gone a trade route. It might not have been an option for him to, see his father coming home every day hardworking, but knowing that he's making an impact in their community. And making that conversation happen has so much value. And bringing it, not, as you said, not just we're turning the light switches on, but we're making an impact and we're improving the lives in our community from this job. So as we're educating the educators, what are some of the things that you do like to educate those educators on? What are some of the topics that you bring to the table to help them start those conversations? Because I think we could really use this as an opportunity for not only home service business owners, but anyone listening to the show this week to have these conversations with their children as well, to make sure this is not just on the educator's shoulder, but as a community on all of our shoulders to impact the world today.
Oh yeah. So the majority of the audience that we speak to are those who are either just learning about these three trades specifically, or they're not aware. And I think when you're starting at the foundation, when you're looking at those building blocks and you say, here's an apprenticeship. First of all, let's describe what that is. It's been around since the Middle Ages, but let's talk about what that is. And if you take it, and it's an easy comparison, I think, to say, well, an apprenticeship is on average 8,000 hours of training and classroom education, which is very much equal to your bachelor's degree. So there you go. It's not just I pick up my tool bag and I'm an electrician. These are some of the most highly regulated industries out there. So that would be the first step. I think the second step is to say, to go along with stereotype of, oh, well, you're just an HVAC tech. Well, yeah, I am a certified HVAC tech, but here's what I do now, and here's what I can do in the future. It's very much a growth pattern of opportunity. So if I'm in HVAC tech and my first job, I'm earning between $45,000 and $50,000, which is a great start for someone who's coming right out of college or high school, right?
Absolutely.
And
I would have
so
dreamed of that coming out of college, right?
I think we all would have.
That's
And
great.
you can see the leadership and that advancement that could come. So I'm a technician, then I become a service manager, then I can lead into operations, and there's a very good opportunity for me to own my own business. So it's very much a pattern of growth that exists within these industries. And I think that when you're looking specifically at middle school, high school, to say, well, your hot water just doesn't happen. It's understanding the math behind it, the chemistry behind it, the physics behind it. And if you would like to deal with customers, there's communication skills in that. So I think when we are able to describe the type of person who can fulfill these roles, that's when lights start turning on to say, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So there's all of these different pieces to uncover as you start that conversation.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I want to really touch on a key point that Kate just said for everyone that was listening. And she's talking about a career ladder, right? And I'll let Martha really touch on this because that's really her area. But just to briefly touch on it before we move on to Megan, this is very important because when we're talking about the marketing aspect to young adults, and not even young adults, to teenagers, to middle schoolers, they're in the mindset of the understanding that they go to college, they get the job they do whatever job that may be. And there is a hierarchy to that career. Well, Kate's taking that same concept and moving that marketing to trades and being able to tell you that, hey, that same concept that they've taught you of going to college and doing the things is the same thing as going to an apprenticeship and then starting your career in that service industry, which the service industry, as we are talking about today, is really going to be heavily focused on plumbing, HVAC, and electrical. So keeping that in mind as the show continues today. But then from there, you have that same career ladder. You have that same step point to make sure that you are consistently leveling up yourself. And that alone allows you to look at both options now as a young adult, so a high schooler, a middle schooler, and say, these are very equal in the way they are being marketed to me as an option for a career for myself. So I want to commend you all, Kate, and just let you know that this is fantastic that we are allowing this to be an even platform now when it comes to marketing about the trades and not only college, because everyone is different. So if you are listening today and you may be kind of interested in one or the other, we encourage you to explore both categories, explore the college option and explore the trade, because you do never know which one you might fall into. I myself went college and I fell into trade. So it's very funny to see where my life has panned out. But I'm very grateful for it. And I'm very grateful to be in the trades and be a woman in the trades and be able to work with awesome women like yourself. So I appreciate you talking about marketing with me today, Kate, and I'll kind of let Megan take over for some finances since we did talk a little bit about that at the end of our segment there.
I'm really interested in what's happening today. Can you just start by sharing a little bit of what you do as an organization? Like, do you go to job fairs? Do you have FaceTime with administrators? How on earth do we turn this tide to make this interesting and sexy and really raise awareness about this topic? And then the follow-up question, just to tee you up, is going to be, how can we help you? Because this isn't a mission I can get behind. So can you just start by sharing a little bit, what does that look like? What is your mission of your organization, and how are you executing your mission?
Sure. Yeah. So our mission is to bridge that technical talent gap. So how can we do that? So the majority of our demographic that we have identified are middle school, high school students, parents, educators, and school counselors. And I would say the majority of the content that we have available for free. So we want to make it available to everybody so that they are well informed about this industry. A lot of the content came out of questions that I would have with contractors. So residential contractors would call and say, hey, Kate, I'm invited to a high school career fair next week, and I don't have anything to give these kids. And I don't know what to talk about. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, here's an opportunity. And knowing that those people who are running the business, they don't have time to sit down to put something together. So that's where our career paths came into play. And we have one for plumbing, HVAC, and electrical, which are the most widely used pieces that we have, either downloaded, shared, what have you. And that's where we wanted to start, is to say, okay, here's how we can serve the contractors. Because when we're looking at the industry, especially in their communities, the contractors are the success factor. They have a role in their community to develop those relationships and partnerships with either the local school, with, you know, the workforce development office. As a market leader, we want to help them build their talent bench. And we know that for so long, I'm kind of going on a tangent, Megan, sorry. We know that,
because I'm also the note taker.
Yeah. Oh,
You just said local schools and workforce. Like, I'm like, I don't even know what this department is. Can you say what the department is, the local department is? Workforce?
Yeah, a lot of communities will have a workforce development office. So it's an opportunity for job seekers to come and work on their resume, you know, some interview skills. So that's another opportunity in the community.
Well, I feel like local contractors might not know that such a thing exists. So by like,
right, that's a good point.
Like, maybe Google, you know, workforce development office near me, and maybe in your state it's called something different, or your county's called something different. But I feel like that's, wow, if you're looking for labor, like that might be a good starting point.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Yes. Thanks for calling that out. And, you know, we want to help the contractor build those relationships. And oftentimes I think they are interested. I think contractors are interested in connecting with the local school, but the question is, how do I start? How do I do that? And my answer to that would be, call the guidance office. If there's a career counselor on staff, give them a call. You know, if your school is fortunate enough to have a career and tech ed program, I would absolutely pick up the phone and call that instructor, because 10 out of 10 times they are looking for industry partnerships within their community to say, hey, this is the curriculum we're teaching, but as the industry service provider in our community, is there anything else to add? You know, what are you looking for in potential workers? So that's a really nice give and take relationship as well.
Awesome. I know our local high school and our independent school programs have internship opportunities available for students, and that it was very easy to get started. They came and looked at our offices. We believe in, like, my husband and I don't have kids, so we're like, how can we help foster the next generation? And so we've both done an apprenticeship through our local high school.
Sure.
Which was much easier to get started than I thought it would be. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about money just a little bit. I mean, we can talk about money from so many different angles, but I didn't realize, Tay and I have something similar. My father-in-law is also an electrician, and my husband also, well, I don't know if Damien went to college, but Jeff, my husband, did not go to college. And we always laughed, like, he made so much more money than me, and we were still paying my student loans because I was like the one that like had to go to school, right?
Yep.
And my brother did go to college, and he got a full scholarship, and he went to a very fancy private school, Christian school, and he got a very useful degree in art. And I'm not bashing on the arts because I am a huge appreciator of the arts, but he graduated and was like, well, I don't want to be a teacher, and I don't want to be a starving artist. God, I feel like I'm really playing up that stigma of art, which is not.
Okay. Megan, we're like literally the same.
Kelvin, just like cut this part out. Take it back. No, I very much appreciate the arts, and I try to buy. Michelle inspired me recently, actually. I try to buy from local artists as much as I can. Not the point. The point is, he did the 4-year degree, and then he was like, what am I going to do? So he came and he cleaned some windows, and he decided he wanted to be an auto mechanic. He was like, I'm going to be an auto mechanic. So he started looking into trade schools, and I feel like they're a bigger racket than undergrad education sometimes. Like this auto mechanic school was so expensive. It was like crippling. And the odds of him getting a high paying enough job to recover the cost of going to school, if we think about it as an investment, I just remember going through the math with him and thinking, like, that doesn't make sense. Whereas electricians, like if an uncle who's an electrician, they usually pay you to go through the apprentice program, right? Like they're going to pay you a very healthy, significantly higher than a starting salary from college salary to learn a trade. Yep. And we've interviewed a lot of people on this podcast who have started their own trade schools because they had such a shortage in their workforce, right? So they started like a plumbing university, or we just got to tour FH Fur, and they have their own.
Oh, yeah.
It was so fun. They have their own training facility.
Yeah.
So can you talk to us a little bit, like, when we're talking to high school students or when we're talking to other business owners,
Mhm.
like what is the role of a trade school these days? And
Yeah.
what can we as employers do to like fill this need of educating, because it is a highly educated field, right?
Yeah.
The trade,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of technical training, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when people are looking to get started and looking to find an apprenticeship or at least start their training, there are a number of ways in which you can find that program. So to answer your question, Megan, I'm not well versed in the industry of auto mechanics, so I can't speak to that.
You can speak
you
to
know,
like other ones, yeah.
Yeah, but I would say, for some people, whether they start at a trade or technical school or an apprenticeship, it really depends on what's going to fit into your life at that moment. Sometimes going the technical college route is better. Sometimes starting an apprenticeship is better. So there are always the programs at the tech schools. If you are looking for an apprenticeship, there's a number of
pause because
Yeah.
I feel like I just realized I don't have any idea the difference. So a technical school is not for one specific trade. Then a technical school would like give them exposure to multiple trades. Is that the role of
Right.
a technical school?
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, I would say
they kind of have chosen a path and they're like, I want to be an HVAC tech, or I want to be an electrician, or I want to be a plumber.
correct. Yep,
Okay.
that's a nice way to describe that. Yep.
Okay.
Typically at a technical college, you'll have anything from hands-on trades to health sciences. So it could be a variety of vocations that are offered there. When you would start an apprenticeship, that's where you're locked in to say, okay, I'm going to be a plumber. I'm going to get registered within my state, and then I can start tracking my hours. So to find an apprenticeship, we have on our website, which is explorethetrades.org, we have a resource online where we have a map of the US and you can click on your state to find some of the registered apprenticeship programs there. So that would be one place to start. The second option I would offer is you could also search the federal government site, which is apprenticeship.gov. And that will also allow you to search by state and zip code to find those specific programs in your community.
I have so many ideas. I feel like
Those are
sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
those are bombs. Those are like dropping bombs of goodness. Those are so good. Both of those websites are just everything. Okay, sorry.
Okay, I'm like, how can we help? And I'm like, okay, we need to write some children's books that make plumbing, electrical, HVAC, window cleaning sexy. We need to like make it like every kid wants to be the garbage man and a ballerina and an astronaut. Well, they should want to be a plumber and electrician.
Yeah.
We should run summer camps where we have all of our friends who are making 100 million, 150 million, who are 300 million, go up on stage and talk about how being a plumber is super sexy because I drive a fancy Porsche, or I drive a
right.
Ferrari,
God,
or I live in a castle. I don't care. I feel like this is the like nobody, and parents, if you are a parent listening to this right now, stop forcing your kid into college. If they don't like school, it's okay. As somebody who spent a lot of money on college and a lot of time in school, my husband makes so much more than I do, and he makes 5 hours a week. He's like the happiest man I know. He golfs and it's just silly.
Yep.
Okay, other things that we can do to help this mission.
Yeah. So I have 2 more things to add to that previous question, Megan.
Okay, sorry, I just got excited. Like,
no,
do something.
I totally get it. A third way to find a registered apprenticeship program is also through your own state. So every state, through their Department of Labor and Industry, will have registered programs, which is another resource. And then to drill down even further, if you have a local contractor in your community, it's worth a call to say, hey, can I get my registered hours through you? And a lot of times those companies, when we're talking about developing talent and building their culture within their business, that's a great place to start. And a lot of those men and women will say, hey, I will take a brand new apprentice and I can train them how I like things to be done, and if they're a great fit in the culture, you've just won the lottery. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
Yep.
going to stay there for just a minute. If you
Yeah.
are a local contractor, because that is our audience, so if you own a window cleaning company or a plumbing company or a roofing company, or I don't care how you're defining the trades, but if you're listening to this, we're talking to you, and you're having trouble with labor, I want you to think of ways that you can work locally to network and start making this, because I think this has to happen at the local level. I think you have to be a leader in your community. I feel like growing up, one of my best friends, her dad was a plumber, and I feel like it was so discounted, right? But I knew they had the nicest house out of all my friends, and I knew they had horses, and I knew we went on epic vacations, and I knew I loved to spend my summers there, right? But as a kid, I never realized the reason why was because he was a plumber and he made really good money and he had a really good work-life balance and family life, right? So I feel like at the local level, there are things we can do. I'm a very proud Rotarian, and I feel like there's not an episode that goes by that I don't like plug Rotary. But we were looking at our member, like what our membership looks like, and we were talking about diversity, and the trades are completely unrepresented in my local Rotary Club. Nobody in the trades is in my Rotary Club. But you know who's in my Rotary Club? The superintendent of the school district, the principal of the high school, the county supervisors, the board of education. If you want to get in front of high school students and middle school students, and if you want to get at job fairs and you want to start recruiting from a younger age, join a Rotary Club, join a Kiwanis Club, start networking with these people, or meet up with Kate and have her help you connect with a guidance counselor, right? The last thing I'm going to say, which Martha is going to be like, stop it, I was going to say this, but you need to start thinking, I'm talking to you listening to this, you out there, the business owner, of your job as a career. Until you have confidence that you have a career to offer a young person, you're not going to attract young people that want a career with you. You're going to constantly have this turnover and this churn and this frustration and this angst. And I am speaking from personal experience. Martha can tell you all about our history of how we've evolved and how we've developed a career ladder. But I feel like our story is not unique. We're not alone. It took a long time for Jeff. Well, he might even still say, I'm just a window cleaner, right? He doesn't say, I run a 7-figure business where I work 5 hours a week, right? Like he doesn't say that. So until you have confidence in the job that you have to offer to a young person, you can't really inspire them to follow in your footprints, right? Like we can't build up that next generation. So this is your pep talk that you have a cool job to offer somebody. You have a cool career path to offer somebody, and you should be out there shouting it from the rooftops, because that's how we're going to change this story. And Kate, I feel like we should all be giving you money because you're a nonprofit. And we should all be supporting the mission. And Martha's always like, don't advertise on my show. And I'm like, but this one. So it's like, is there a way for people in the trades to help support your mission to celebrate the trades nationally?
Absolutely. We have a donate page on our website, explorethetrades.org. And yes, we are a nonprofit, and we count on support from industry, vendors, distributors, contractors, because we can only scale the message so far without financial support. So, and I'll give an example. So we have a poster kit that we have been sending to classrooms. So over the last 12 months, we've sent out over 1,100, which is exciting. And that's, considering that's 1,100 more classrooms who now can start that conversation. And for us,
as I'm a math nerd, average classroom touches between 150 to 250 lives. So 1,100 to 250. I mean, this is impact, guys. Keep going.
Absolutely. So this poster kit costs us $10 to create and ship, and we don't want the schools to have to pay for that because we know school budgets are tight. So if we can get them a poster kit for $10, we will send them all. That's it. Yep.
Okay.
That's
so
a
$10
big difference.
You could touch 150 to 250 lives and inspire them to join the trades. That is a great cause that I can get behind. I will be donating while I pass you to Michelle.
Thank you.
Pete, please note you've got, like, I know we are not the face of the trades because we're all women, but you've got champions here, and we'd love to help support 100%. You with information however we can.
We are the face of the trades, Megan.
Okay.
We are.
I'd love love to be the future face of the trades. How about that?
Yes,
I
there
feel
you
like
go.
we're underrepresented currently, but I would love if we were the future of the trades.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, hi Kate. First
Hi.
off, I have to shout out Taylor, who's not on camera today, who's the first person who sat in an audience and listened to you talk and introduced me to you. So thank you, Taylor, for doing this because you saw this and you felt it and you were right on with getting Kate together with us. So first off, I talk about systems, and so I love shrinking time. I like cutting out the fat and understanding how to shrink time and get people to what they need to get done. So talk to me about the jobs page on the website and talk to me about how it works for the business owner and then how it might work for a potential candidate. Because I love this as a system of just getting people together. So tell me how that works if you want to just walk us through that.
So to clarify, the jobs page on our site?
Yes, the one that goes
Okay.
to Nextstar and then you put in
Yes.
where you live, that one, please.
Yeah. So that job page is a compilation of residential contractors throughout the whole country. And it's a great tool to say, okay, well, I'm interested. Where are they?
Yeah.
You know, and it's and I love that page because of the variety of all the careers that are there. So I know that, you know, from our organization, we talk very technician, you know, we're looking at the technical talent, but when you go to that page, it opens up the conversation to say, oh my gosh, look at all these other roles that are essential to getting the technicians to work.
Yeah.
And that's what's exciting. And then that opens up the door to say, well, call center and dispatch, who are those people? What are they responsible for? What are the customer service qualities that are imperative to those roles? So it's really exciting to see all the departments represented.
I love that. So if you're an employer, you can post here, or do you post through Nextstar? How does the relationship work so that if a company wanted to be on this site, how would they do that?
Yeah, so the jobs page through Nextstar are for those members of Nextstar.
Beautiful.
So it's
okay.
a little,
So it's a little bit more exclusive. And then the talent network, there's a tab that says talent network, and you can actually be a part of that too as a tradesperson. Tell me how you get involved in that if you're a tradesperson looking to move around.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great portal. If I'm a plumber in Minnesota and I know that I'll be relocating or looking for a different position, what a great way to put my name in the hat. And here's my resume and here's my qualifications. And that gives those employers the opportunity to say, hey, I saw Michelle had put her name in and she's looking to move our way, and which is a great way to be identified by those contractors.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
So is it free for people to put their information
It
up?
is. Yes,
so
it
the
is.
technicians, they can put their stuff up whether they're in Nextstar or not. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, beautiful. Because that's really important. I know that a lot of people are looking for different opportunities, or they may be relocating because of family or whatever. So I love that as a system to connect those people, right? Because they can't find each other. So this is a great way to find them.
Yep.
And I love that you talked about local job opportunities. So while you were talking about that, I opened up our Loudoun County, which is where we live in Virginia. And we actually have an entire system, again, for finding people that I didn't even know existed. Like, I feel really dingy because that's all I do is staffing. And now I'm finding that, oh, wow, they have job fairs, and they actually have digital job fairs, and they have virtual career fairs, and they have all kinds of stuff. They even teach you how to join a Zoom meeting if that's not in your bag of tricks, right? Like, it's so weird because you and I, right, we probably on Zoom a lot, but a technician may not be on Zoom. So it's really cool to see that there's that information there for them too. So I love that. So tell me about one. I want to go back to where Megan was and talk about internships. How I love the idea of an internship. When somebody goes and begins to be an intern, what can they do to best advocate for themselves to get that full-time job? So people that are listening that are just new into the industry, how can they do the right thing to get that job offer? What's that thing that you're seeing working out there?
Sure. Good. That's a great question. What what we have seen, what I've seen and have learned from service contractors is that if I'm a high school student or if I'm a college student home on the summer and I need a part-time job,
Mhm.
a great way to have exposure is to be a parts runner, work in the warehouse, because that's a nice entry level position to, if you don't have exposure in the trades, what a great way to see how the business runs.
Yeah.
If I'm helping stock parts in the truck, or if I need to get a part from point A to point B,
Mhm.
you know, around you, you're learning what the technicians do, which is a great way to start. And then some contractors, and it's not standard in all parts of the country, but there are some contractors who also host a program called Ride and Decide. And it's really cool. So it often takes place in the summer.
Okay.
Looking at ages, you know, junior year, senior year, you know, graduated from high school, and they will operate sort of an internship, to your point, Michelle, of, okay, if you're interested, let's get you signed up for 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, we will let you ride along in the truck. We'll introduce you to call center. You can talk to the marketing folks. So it's a really cool program, and it gives kids and parents, because I think parents are the toughest audience to crack with this conversation. But they get to see, and they get to talk to the owner and the ops manager to say, okay, so tell me more. And following those pieces, if someone has done a Ride and Decide, what a great way after high school graduation to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, I'm in. You know, let me know when that next apprentice spot is open, and I'm in. And it's a great job interview for that student, but also for the owner to say, yep, they're the one. That's who we want.
And the stats are really supporting that we really need to tell our kids this message, because they're saying that for every 4 skilled laborers that are leaving the marketplace, only 1 is returning, right? So we've got a gap of 3. So that data is really telling us that we got to really ramp this up.
Yep.
Or in 10, 15 years, all of us who have homes and businesses and whatever, we're really going to feel the pain of not having those technicians in that pipeline to be able to teach. So I love what you do. Thank you again, Taylor, for getting us together. And I'm going to pass you on to Martha. This was awesome, Kate. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. And to chime in and give an example, I was in healthcare myself, and I went to college and got my physical therapy degree, worked in that for a long time. When I left that good job to open a maid service, I remember my mother, you know, you mentioned parents, and I remember my mother really was pretty horrified. And she, I distinctly remember, and I thought it was funny. It didn't hurt my feelings, but I remember her introducing me, and I can't remember what she said that I did, but she absolutely tried to, you know, skip over the part about that I owned a maid service, because there was that stigma. And I thought it was funny because she didn't understand how I probably made more money even then than I did as a PT, but you know, it's that darn stigma. And I do agree that the parent population, you almost have to go up against more than even the students. Because if I would have mentioned that like in younger years, I don't know. They might have chained me to the house. I don't know. But anyway, and as far as people and culture go, I really feel that it's you've got to lean into that career ladder and show how there's room for growth, because I do kind of think there part of the stigma is that's all I'll ever be kind of feeling. And that's not phrasing it right, but feels like you would start in that position and maybe never go anywhere as far as career advancement. And that's just not true. And like I say, our tour at FH Fur, I mean, we were sitting down with Darius and he was saying, the sky's the limit here, you know, and they had over 100 employees and blah, blah, blah. And it was true.
And he said, what was it? He said he was going to like, they had 470 employees and they were going to like 1,500 in the next 2 years or something. He's like, so just choose what you want to do. Any department, any position, just choose. Because I'm going to add 1,000 people. It might as well be you. Choose your career. It was crazy.
And the other beauty was too, like if it didn't work out, he also made a very strong point to say, like, we'll find the job that does work out. Like these companies want to make sure that you're a fit and want to make sure you're happy in the position you're in, which I think too plays right back into what Martha's saying with the career ladder. There's so many options. So I won't talk any further, but I mean, service industries, we need to make sure that we're giving them everything we can.
Right. And, you know, I actually just got a question in one of the groups this morning about a career ladder, and people, since this is a show where we're trying to have you, you know, take some actionable items, the question was, how do I distinguish on the career ladder? I mean, like, basically, I think most of us, if we create a career ladder, it's just titles and it doesn't mean much. And so they were asking what can you do? And for me, you know, little things like different uniforms at different job levels. Now that seems so corny, but it's all about recognition and self-pride. So if you have to do something to earn that, we're big into badges these days, Girl Scout badges, and you earn them. Well, it's, you know, it's kind of the same, but we're talking your work uniform. And then I definitely offer different benefits at different levels, because you have to make your career ladder more than just a token. They have to want. I know several trades like the maid service and lawn care, etc. Being a trainer is kind of like the short, drawing the short stick, and people don't like it. Typically, they don't want to do it. It slows you down. You know, you have to give feedback. And so that was a position that I really looked at and thought, okay, what can I do to make this position more attractive, where I can shift from, oh my gosh, I got the short stick, to, oh, I want to be a trainer. So, but when you were talking, and this isn't people culture, but I was sitting here thinking, who could I get? We could get a team and approach the schools and, I mean, you know, go.
Oh my gosh. We need to develop like a summer curriculum. And I have a friend that could sell it to the major school districts of the state of California. We could probably take this nationwide. If we did like a summer boot camp where we did a tech school, like a rapid, like a speed dating tech school or something. And we brought in like all of our fancy friends who are making oodles and oodles of money in the trades to inspire these young high school students. And then I feel like how you make it sustainable, because we're all entrepreneurials, and this is a seizure. We're having a seizure, just to point it out. Entrepreneurial seizure happening right now. But we could give it to the scouts, because this would be a great Eagle Scout Award project, or a Gold Award project for scouts, to then take that curriculum and take it to their local high schools. And my Gold Award was actually something similar. We did a camp thing similar, not about the trades though, but about like women identity and, you know, owning our power as women and not making ourselves small. Anyway, I feel like we totally do this. We totally do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you've got all of our wheels turning like, oh my gosh, how can we make this movement? So,
Right.
and this is what it's about, is
Yeah.
coming in and getting people excited about, uh, we can change it. We just have to really start the dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think to that point, Martha, it's, we know that these jobs are important. And I think when we're telling people who don't have any idea about them, I think it's the why. Well, why do I want to be a plumber? I mean, you have salary and benefits, which are off the charts as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But when you go back thousands of years to say, well, the greatest advancement to public health was plumbing. Like we can take it all the way back, and I think that's what people forget, that these electricians and HVAC techs and plumbers, they're the ones who are keeping us safe and healthy, and gives our communities, first world, comfortableness, these things that we get to enjoy every day. And it's just the why.
The first time somebody said that to me, I was completely shocked. They said the major difference between a developing country and a developed country is the industrial development, which when we say industrial development, we mean advances in plumbing and electricity, right? Like we mean actual systems around. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Why are we taking? I have a good plumber friend, and I keep telling him, like, I'm going to take you to Kenya. I'm just going to force you to come with me, because you're going to be like, just your mind's going to be blown. Like, we can do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. That's a great point.
Yeah.
All right, Tay, I guess I'll pass it back to you, and you can talk about the homework, etc.
Awesome. Well, I think too, one final point that I feel like we've all touched on. We've all really said that we're very much more alike than we are different with this conversation of having the trades be talked about more at younger ages. Every single one of us had a situation where we may have ended up in the trade sooner if these conversations had been brought up to us sooner. So we really want to impact you today to just choose one of these pieces of homework, but really, really be able to focus on that homework and try to make a difference in your community. Because I know each one of us will give you a piece. It's going to be 4 to 5 pieces of homework. So Kate, you're more than welcome to add that. But really this week, it's about impact. It's about impacting your community and really making a difference and having this conversation be open about the trades. So as far as marketing homework goes, I want you all to, I know school is starting. We're really in that back to school time frame. The conversations are happening. So there is an opportunity for us to really be able to give back to our local community when it comes to schools and our local schools. A lot of individuals I have friends that are teachers that are asking for donations to their classroom, asking for options for them to be able to give to their students. So this can be your opportunity as a business owner, one, to give a donation to a teacher. Maybe it's one that your child may be in that grade level of 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, whatever it may be. But also maybe be able to give them the option to say, hey, let's have a career day. If they don't already have that on the calendar, maybe get in a conversation with the principal to talk about how we can bring trades into the conversation in those middle school, even elementary school, high school grade levels. So use the opportunity to donate back to your schools this week and donate to your teachers to help them have some more access to products they may not have because they are on very tight budgets, but also use it as an opportunity to talk to the higher ups within your school to be able to bring this conversation to your local areas. Oh, sorry, Megan.
I was listening so intensely. I didn't even take notes. I was like, yeah, we should do that. Sorry. Now it's my turn. Okay. I set up a recurring donation to your organization, Kate, because I feel I feel like I don't have the capacity to do all of the wonderful ideas that we just shared, but I hope that we inspired somebody to do them. And here's what I'm going to commit to from today, because I do believe, and I think Tay mentioned it, but we want to be different as a podcast. We want you to not just consume information and listen to this and feel inspired, but we want you to take action. We want you to take something away every single week that you can apply to your company. So I'm going to give 2 options for homework. You can only do 1. And remember, there are 3 more homework assignments coming. So just commit to the one that makes your heart sing and only do that one. So the first one can be go out and network with your local high school, or go out and network with your local employment development office, right? That could be your simple task. Just make an introduction, introduce yourself to the career counselor at your local high school, or go find that development office and get your name in the pool as a potential employer. That could be your homework this week. If you're like me and you're like, I'm not gonna do that homework, I don't have time to do that homework, send Kate $10 a month so she can send a poster to schools around the US so she can do it for you, because this is what she's excited about. This is your who, not how. This is her mission. And that felt like an easy homework assignment accomplishment. It took me less than 2 seconds. So that's your homework choices from the finance department this week.
I like that homework. I really do.
Yeah.
And your systems homework is to dig deep. Again, I'm kind of riding on Tay's coattails about the community, is to go and look at your local workforce center. Post a job, post an internship. I love this ride and decide concept. I'm going to totally put their website up too. Maybe that spurs some sort of creativity for you as a business owner and how to really reach out to people in your community that really need the next job opportunity. So I'm going to put an example of what my workforce center looks like in Virginia. And so you can all just take a peek at yours and post something this week. I know I'm going to do it for sure.
And my homework is going to be to develop that career ladder if you haven't already done that. And not only develop it, but I think that we kind of have a duty when we are advertised, like we're recruiting in our career ads. You need to be talking about your career ladder, whether that I hear, and indeed we can add pictures now. I don't have a service business anymore, so I don't advertise there. But if so, put a picture of your career ladder in there. But educate people that it does not have to be a dead-end job, a dead-end career, that you can actually make a really rich, fulfilled life by going into the trades. So that's your homework.
Love it.
All right.
Is it my turn? Is it my
It
turn?
is your turn. If you have some, please give it to us.
So my homework would be on our website, on our resource page. We have an entire catalog of videos, and these videos are talking about stereotypes in the trades and how we are different than that. We have a video about apprenticeships. We have videos talking about how the skilled trades are STEM. So to Megan's point about making the trade sexy, STEM is sexy in schools. And we have a whole series on how each of those 3 trades fits into the STEM career. So if you are looking for videos for your kids to watch, for you as parents to watch, or if you're a teacher wanting to incorporate it into the classroom, or if you're a contractor who wants to borrow them and put them out on social media, put them on your website, that's what they're there for. And just fun, 2 to 5 minute videos, and you'll learn a lot, I promise.
Can I request a window cleaning one? I will totally put it on my website. And I will totally get it on lots of other window cleaners websites. I'm linking to it now. These look amazing. And what a great way to spread the mission. I love that. And STEM is sexy. Parents are into STEM. So I think you have found a very great path here.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's awesome. Well, Kate, if anyone wants to get into contact with you all, what is the best way for them to get into contact with you post-show?
Sure. So my contact information is on our website. Otherwise, I'll share my email address if that's okay. Taylor,
Feel free.
It's Kate C at explorethetrades.org. So again, we have all of our contact information online, but feel free to drop me a line personally.
Awesome.
I love that. And Kate, we always finish with a quote. So I pulled one up just now and I love it. And it says that youth is the hope of our future by Joe Rizal. So it's simple and easy to remember. We'll post it in the group later on today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so grateful for your time. This was awesome. I will see you in Arizona in the fall at Women in HVACR. So please look for me there. I'll be running around and I can't wait to see you in person. Perfect. Everybody have a terrific day. And thank you for joining us on Fight Club. And keep fighting out there, people.
Go fight.
Next
Have a good one.